Hey guys, Mike from Iron Creek. Welcome back to the shop. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to do a little mail call. I have a 36.6 pound large flat rate box, and you can ship up to 70 pounds in this, and I've got 36 pounds in it. So let's open her up. There we have plant holder, hardware bag with all the washers, nuts, bolts, spacers, springs, everything that you need right in there. And we have our arms, C-plates, both of those. We have our body spacers. Should be 3 of them. Those aren't drilled yet. Just got too excited about this. We have our front and rear pivots. This is the rear frame section. There's the other spacer right there. There's the platen. Bolts onto the plant holder. Okay, what's next in here? There's our little tab for the tracking wheel. We have a tool arm. It's countersunk. Really nice. We have the front frame section. We have the pivot side plate. And pieces there. There's the spring arm for the tension and the motor side plate. And I believe that's it. This box, no, it's cardboard. When I put these together to ship, I'm going to take this really thin plywood and I'm going to cut it down to the interior dimensions of that box and line that box, glue it to the inside, and hopefully that'll prevent any bits of that box splitting apart and throwing parts all over the inside of a mail van. So that's the plan for that. So here's all the parts laid out. There is your do-it-yourself grinder in a box. No welding for you guys. I do all the welding. There's very minimal. The little arms that go on the pivots, those are welded in. The feet are welded on there, and that's really about the only welding that gets done. Everything else is bolt together. So everything you see right here, when you bolt it together, this is what you're going to end up with. This is the DIY grinder, all assembled. So this is all in that box. So I know a lot of guys don't like the spring setup, but I'll tell you, it is just bulletproof. You could preset your tension here, however tight you like your belts to be, and that's pretty much it. Set it and forget it. You know, just pull it down. It's very smooth. I try to keep the spring and the arm in line with the arm that holds your tracking wheel, and my tension arms are just the most solid thing you're going to find anywhere. They're just very little deflection whatsoever. So lots to grab onto right here. A lot of the framework, so I didn't mess around with any kind of a handle here. There's all kind of spaces and places to hang on to pull that down and adjust your tension. So I think it's a really good system, and I think you're going to really like it. First grind I ever built 6 years ago. I set up with a spring, and I haven't touched it in 6 years, and the tracking and the tension is just beautiful. So your spacers here, I still have a little bit to work out here because obviously these are 1.5 inches. Your tool arm is 1.5 inches. I have little spacers in here just to give it enough room to go in and out. I'm not sure I like that too much. I'm going to try and come up with a little bit nicer of a spacer for that. And that I really don't want to get to the point where I mill down the tool arm a little bit narrower, because then it becomes proprietary and you're locked into having to do that to your tool arm. So I'm going to come up with a spacer that'll space that out, just like a 30-second or so, just to space that out. There's your tilt function. Your platen, it just has so much play. And that's pretty much it. There's a 2x72 DIY grinder. Great machine once it's all bolted together. And these are just regular zinc nuts that I have. All the proper hardware is in the bag with the proper nylocks and everything, so they'll look a little bit nicer. So the way this comes out of the box is pretty much, when you put it together, this is what you're going to see. It's got a fairly nice finish on it. I put it in the vibratory tumbler, and it gives it that nice mottled finish there. So whatever you decide to do with it, either painting or powder coating, should adhere to this really, really well. The only thing that I will say, if you're going to powder coat or paint, when I'm drilling and tapping these holes for the tool arm locks, I use cutting oil there, so a little bit gets in between those two plates. So if you powder coat or paint, try and clean up around there really good. If you're going to powder coat, I would suggest pre-baking this half for about 20 minutes to burn out any of that oil. Then cool it down, clean it up a little bit more. I've cleaned up as best I can, and it's gone through the tumbler, but there's always going to be some more in there. So when you get ready to do your finished work, just remember that. Everything else bolted together, fits really well. I will be doing, in the next day or so, I'll be doing the assembly video on this, where I'll take all the parts and lay them out and go through this step by step and show you exactly how to assemble it. All the pieces, all the bits and parts. From beginning to end, I would say it will probably not take you more than an hour to an hour and a half to bolt this whole thing together. And I'll go over all the procedures, best policies and practices to do that. And there it is. So really excited about this project, really excited to get these mailed out. I'm still looking at Wednesday of this coming week to put all the finishing touches on it, work on the packaging, figure out how I'm going to put everything in there to where it doesn't rattle around, find a way to lock it all together, and get them in the mail. So I think I have one more of this run, one more grinder in this run that isn't spoken for. So if anybody's interested, it is available. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. A lot of work went into this, and I think you're going to really be satisfied with the quality of this grinder. Once you get a motor or VFD and wheels on this thing and get it dialed in, it's going to be a solid piece of kit that you guys are going to really like. So thanks again. Thanks for your support. And MikeGetABusyGuy.com is my email if you want to hit me up directly on pricing and shipping and any other details that you might want to ask about. All right, guys, take care, be safe out there, and keep grinding.